aren't you on Rex? Well, you're both on Rex. Who has the disc? Okay, yeah, just both stay there.
Rex has the disc. Live stream still offline.
No, it's online now. And welcome to the stream of OWN 2024. We have a streamed game for you today. Oh. We have a fixture between the Long Donkeys 2 and Rex 2. And I'm sitting in the booth here with Blue, who just played in the first game of the day. This time the Simbas had been playing against the Ravens, so I mean, just a good day, man. It's the first time for us in Durban, and yeah, just smiles all around. Smiles all around indeed. Smiles on these faces. Tons of anticipation here. Two big teams, but we're seeing the second teams of each of them. So tons of development in each of the regions. Oh, definitely. And very good for the sports as well. I mean, we love seeing the sport growing in the nation. And we'd like as many teams as possible soon enough. Maybe we can have 4 pools. Who knows? That'll be very, very exciting as we see Donkeys in their first O point. Working the disc up here. Oh, nice pass there by Kyle Groenewald. And, oh, nice catch there by Bonga. Oh my goodness. That's the first point we have today. Good pass, good awareness, good frisbee all around. No, good finish indeed. Let's see if we can get these replays working. First time we're trying it out here on the SAFTA stream. Hello. We have a substitution. Okay. Next time we'll give it another shot next time. Oh, the brothers Barry and Kevin there. They say Barry is the pretty brother and Kevin is the younger one. As we said, a lot of smiles on the frisbee field today. Certainly so. I mean, listen, it's a great sport. I mean, I've only picked it up in 2021, and so far, I mean, the community is great. Spirits on and off the game as well. You know, a lot of friendships to be made, and connections to build. I love it. Good for the sport, good for the country. And Kyle to pull for the Long Donkeys too. If you're not aware, the Long Donkeys 2 is the second team for the Long Donkeys, and they prepared against each other every Sunday, like literally the day before work. I could imagine how everyone was at the office on a Monday morning after playing so tough. The Donkeys are known for playing hard and playing strong and playing long. And there we go. That is another point by Bonga. Really doing his thing out there deep down the field. That is his second goal of the game. Good point by the Donkeys. A good point indeed to take the score to 2-0 here. Got themselves a good break in this first half and really putting the Johannesburg Rex team under a little bit of pressure. They also practice hard against Rex 1, who are playing against Marty's Ultimate on another field. And yeah, that's what we like to see, teams sparring against one another, making each other stronger, and just distributing strength to give themselves the best shot at winning the tournament. Both first teams are looking to take down or come home with the trophy, and second teams are looking to do a lot of hard work in representing their respective clubs.
Oh, definitely. I had a chat with Barry, who is the captain of the Long Donkeys too, and they said they're trying to take it home. So yeah, so even if it means playing against their first team, so I'm really happy with the competition so far for the day. I mean, we're going to see some excellent frisbee throughout this weekend.
No doubt about that, and it's Rex 2 who are on the disc here. Captain Lindell captaining the team here for Rex, seeing if she can get some leadership in as she prepares for her under 24 campaign, Wild Dogs campaign.
A lot of pressure from the Long Donkeys here on this point. They need to be careful. Rex needs to be careful of a color hand. Oh, nice. Nice defense from the Long Donkeys. It's a turnaround. Oh, unfortunate there. Unfortunate. They need to take more time and think about their throws when so close to the end zone.
Just seeing a zone here that the Donkeys are well known for. They've got their 3 in the front. Just putting pressure on the disc and waiting for some errant throws, like those ones that just don't connect.
It is really tough today because there is a bit of a breeze, so you might think you've timed the disc perfectly, and that breeze just takes it a little bit away out of your reach sometimes. So cutters need to be aware of that and just try and adapt to the weather we have. But although Durban has been experiencing some horrible weather today, oh, what a horrible collision. I hope everyone is okay.
They look okay. It was a bit of heavy contact there, but Matthew Bishop, the young man, a strong man.
Looks like all the players should be fine. It was a very good assist into the end zone there. I believe it came from Kyle again.
Probably. Very familiar with having him in the first team, as we see a quick sub here for the injury. A very prolific cutter, and just coming down to Rex to Donkeys to just help out with a little bit of experience.
And the player that has just come on, I believe, is Skylar, who is the son of Jean the Legend, if I am not mistaken.
The Juan and only.
Oh, it's going to be a good day today. So Rex taking it up again, trying to get out of their end zone.
Just looking like they're lacking some options upfield, and some options to really get the disc spread out. It looks like they're looking for upline passes through the center of the field, but the Donkey zone not giving them anything through the center that won't be contested, like this one here that Bonga comes down with.
And back to Carl Groenewald here, looking for somebody in the end zone. Unfortunate there for Kevin, the younger brother.
Not the prettier one.
Not the prettier one,
just the younger one.
unfortunately. A little bit of banter there between the brothers. Bonga is actually having a good game today, in defense and offense. I think the Sunday games have been doing their job. Hey. Good defense there from Rex, winning back the disc, looking for some options upfield. Unfortunately, that has been caught. And here are the Donkeys now on a counter. They put it in, right in field. And that is a point. And I believe that is Andrew. Big Andrew.
Big Andrew indeed, with a big reception in the end zone. And one thing I'm enjoying seeing here from the Long Donkeys is their long shots. They're actually connecting them, and I think that's the difference between the two teams. Long options being taken and being executed well on one side, whereas on the other side constantly challenged, a little bit too bladey. So lots of questions to answer here for the Rex Blue team.
Rightly so, and I think the zone and cup being utilized by the Long Donkeys is honestly putting them on the back foot, especially when they're trying to play upwind. And I think the Rex Blue team should honestly be trying to connect those shorter passes and try to move it upfield when they're working against the wind.
That's some sound advice. Tons of cloggage, if you will. Not a lot happening upfield for the Rex Blue team, the Rex 2 team, if you will. Just through the center, they're really struggling to get players open. I'm not sure. That's what I'm seeing. I'm not sure if you're seeing the same thing, Blue.
Definitely. I think it goes back to that point I was making, is that zone and that cup is really obscuring them. I feel like they feel compact. And they should really try and break into that cup maybe. That'll probably help them reset the stall count and just find a little more options during gameplay.
Lyndall Vosprice picks up the disc once again. The chosen disc bearer. A little bit of give and go action here, but the catch not sticking, as now Donkeys try to do the same with a little bit of flow down the line. And unfortunately that disc was dropped in the end zone.
What I can really commend from the Rex 2 team is that no one is giving up. They're giving their all throughout this entire game. And there now the passes are connecting. Downfield. One more pass for the finish. Oh, that is so unlucky from Rex 2.
I could have just waited a little bit longer. There was no one there challenging him. No need to jump for that. Calm heads could have prevailed there, but unfortunately, just getting lost in the flow, getting lost in that movement, getting lost in the hype. Oh,
I mean, it is very easy to do so because, you know, especially when you're on the back foot and the movement of the game just keeps moving so quickly and you honestly want to get that point. And it's just that lack of concentration at the last second that can just make the difference.
A long throw not connecting there for the Long Donkeys. And that gives Pierre Lombard an opportunity to get the disc started. A big swing here, a tough one. But Sibu Dlamini picks up the disc once again.
Beautiful no-look pass there. Really threw off the defender. No options for Sbu. Back to the captain. And again, it goes back to that cup. Oh no. Small mistakes from Rex 2. Just holding them back from getting that little edge that they need just to turn this game around.
Donkey's turn now to get the disc moving. They find it center field and it's a big huck. Stays low. Oh, and Greg Barnard with the big hand of denial to keep Rex's hopes of getting their point here alive.
Very good defense from Rex 2 there. And honestly, they just need to keep this momentum going. You know, especially when it's a long point like this, it really gets tough. And you just need that one little break. And that could be the deciding factor between a goal. Look. It's a good point from the Long Donkeys. I believe that was Nati to Bonga again. A very good combination going through to take the Donkeys 4 up. It's a great day out here in Pinetown today at UKZN. And hopefully the Rex team can keep it going.
Quick timeout called here by the two teams. And this stream was brought to you by the Wild Dogs 2025 campaign. Make sure that you are part of the pack. Back the South African Wild Dogs as they take on the world in 2025. If you want to be part of the pack, don't forget you can sign up, especially if you were born on the 1st of January 2002 or any time after that. You're eligible to play at Worlds in the under 24 division.
And the timeout is over, I believe, as the teams get back and form up the lines for another point to begin. Donkeys will be defending this point, forcing the Rex Blue upwind. Hopefully we can see more connections coming together here from Rex 2. As you can see the captain there having a few words with the team, hopefully with some solid advice that can get Rex back into this game. It is not over. It is not over at all. We have seen legendary comebacks. Teams from 6 goals down, 8 goals down, and for the game just to come back right down to the wire. So still a lot of hope here for Rex. That's a good pull from the Donkeys, taking it right into the end zone of Rex. It is very important to try and get it. Oh no! It's honestly those small mistakes that are holding Rex 2 back from trying to come back into this game.
It's a tough thing to see. It really is. Just an execution error, a simple catch. That just didn't go as well as you'd expect. And yeah, that's the difference between the best teams or the ones at the top. The best teams do the basics the best. And you've got to make sure that you have that on lock. Otherwise, you don't give yourself a chance in the game.
Honestly, when I'm working with the Simbas, it's something that I try and get across to them, is that you need to think about one thing at a time, because there's that split second between you receiving a disc and you thinking about that continuation pass, and that lapse in judgment is just that little moment that makes you drop that disc. So honestly, focusing on one thing at a time could really get Rex back into this game. But the game is not over.
Now you could see what he was thinking as the disc just bobbled out of his hands. He was keen to get that flow going, but it just didn't stick the landing. And there's a brick opportunity now as Tharoon Thomas brings the disc up.
It's actually really important when teams take advantage of that brick call, you know. It allows you to centralize the game, gives the handlers more options. Like now, as we see this connection from Rex.
And that one is caught by Pieter Jan. Doing well to move the disc around now. Generating a little bit of flow, and then yet again just the basics letting the Rex team down here.
And now moving up by Skylar with a back pop. Give me that 28 number.
And it's two teams here. They weren't as frantic as the Rex 2 team, you'd say. And when Barry took the shot, even at the tender age of what?
Getting into the swing of things, playing with lot of older players like myself. You know, we don't have much legs left in the game, but it's good to see the young cats coming up. Good point there by Skylar, taking the score. Honestly, their passes are just connecting so much better, and I think they're just holding on to the disc better. It's just all coming together beautifully.
Yeah, that's the difference that experience on the team makes, experience on the line. As frantic discs, even though there is a bit of flow, it just looks like a disc moving. Then they could do some good things, could deal some damage. Something like that. Just hold it and reset it, and you've got yourself a gainer.
Definitely, you need to look for your handlers and, you know who can take the best shots into the end zone. Taking your time with the disc, like how Sbu is doing now, trying to find your handlers.
Yeah, it looks like not necessarily circumspect, but he judges his options a lot better and likes to make sure before he puts in the throw. And that could be the difference here between Rex getting a point and not.
Definitely, and they do. The theme of this tournament is not to give up, and there's that point we were talking about.
Saw it on point. It wasn't the finest throw, but the fact
Alter the movement of the disc a lot. Taking a points tally right now to 6-1. Hopefully, that is the point. Hopefully, trying to get that flow going. The long donkeys set up here just to give them that extra advantage to probably get a point while playing downwind.
A good comms here. Rex for the first time on D in this game. A decent pull here from Lindell if it stays in, and it does. Just past the brick mark. And also on the sideline. Donkeys do well to center it. Matthew Bishop on the disc, and Rex have come out with a zone. And it succeeds. They got the turn that they were looking for. Now they just need...
It's just those little... Good defense there from the captain, keeping Rex in this game. And it goes back to what we were saying. You need to know when to hold the disc, when to release it, when to give your players some options. Because, sometimes it could just be cutters cutting into the same lane. And people just need to adjust. Give them options. Rex making those connections right now. Captain looking. Sbu really making the difference for this Rex team here. Back to Sbu. Honestly needed that last pass in the end zone. Oh, lovely save from the captain there.
Doing well now are the Rexies. Spanked me. Absolutely spanked me. Until then, the flow was good. The decision making was good. Well judged passes. But that one just ran away, as now Donkey's running away.
And it's another point for the Dossing. Just taking that split second to not only think about it, but giving your cutter that extra bit of time just to get into the right position over the goal line, and then just a composed pass into the end zone for a point from for the Donkeys. taking our tally to 7-1.
14, 1-4. And it's back to the drawing board here for Rex. Captain Lindell just chatting to her team now. And just what we're seeing here is just the weight of responsibility. When it comes, you're sort of forced not to only think of yourself as a player, but you sort of have to think of the whole team, which allows for lapses in concentration from time to time. It's a very difficult thing to do, is leadership.
Definitely, and just trying to separate yourself from player, coach, and captain. It's really a lot of pressure. And listen, it really takes a good clean head just to make those decisions and give your team that extra edge. And lucky there for... Oh, that is so unlucky. It's just going back to those little errors for Rex. Listen, I think they might need a halftime just to go back to the drawing board and fix those decisions. Oh, and there, just a little mistake from the Donkeys as well, going downwind.
I think it comes when you get to a tournament, you sort of have to play with what you've got. You can't just magically get better at the basics, if you know what I'm saying. You sort of need to understand your limitations and work within them, adjust accordingly. If you don't have the best throws for long catches, then adjust your game to shorter catches. Keep the disc moving like we're seeing now.
And definitely, and you know, making those shorter passes and those shorter catches helps you with the restall of the count, because it puts less pressure on the main handler. And again, Donkeys looking to capitalize from a basic mistake from the Rex 2 team. Ooh, small mistake from Skylar there to turn over. Again. Oh, lovely turnover. Good capitalizing from Rex 2, keeping themselves alive in this half.
And it's a good finish here once again from Rex 2, as you say. And there it was very much playing to your strengths. You have a competent thrower in Tharoon Thomas, sporting his 420, and you have a very athletic deep cutter in Greg Barnard. Those two strengths together, that's where you'll generate your points. And that's what I was talking about when I mentioned playing to your strengths.
And rightly so. And I think for the Rex 2 team, they just need to see which connections are working best for them, and, you know, try and keep those players in for longer points, hopefully, just to get them back into this game. As we've said, it is not over, and the theme of the tournament is not to quit.
Don't quit, indeed. Don't quit, indeed.
There, every point, just trying to gather her team. Hopefully give them some confidence to get through this. And there's a pull from by Nati.
Pieter Jan did well to get a little bit of float on that. It had the distance, it had the wheels, but unfortunately just curved out.
You know, as much as teams do enjoy playing downwind, I mean, you really need to adjust your flick when you're playing downwind, because that wind can just carry it over and just obscure a pass. Good connection here by the Donkeys. Nati back to Stradum. Barry Stradum. Back to Nati. You see, that's just waiting for those opportunities and your cutters to get into position. Wide open John there. No one on him. Still no one on him. Again, taking his time. Looking for the the best player to receive the disc. Nati, wide open, and oh my goodness, just that shot from Rex. Unfortunately, not received. Carried by the wind there. Donkey's looking to reset.
Trying to find that connection once again. Using Greg in the deep space is probably the best way to go.
And here's another big shot from the Donkeys. Unfortunately, wasn't really ready for that one, James. And Rex, too beautiful cut there. Seeing the player that's open. Good grab. Big shot in. And that's a good point from Rex. Dragging the game back. This is what we love to see in the sport. Never quitting, playing your heart out. And here we are, this game back by the ankles. We love
Top scorer in the regional tournament for the Rexies, for Rex 2. And back at it again. Loves operating board.
There's the captain again, just giving her team that extra motivation. It clearly must be working because, you know, she hasn't let up. And after every point, just getting them back to the draw board. I'm sure just reminding them what they've been going through, how hard they've been working to get to this tournament. And listen, sometimes that motivational speech can just get you where you need to be. And look now, Rex looking more comfortable, making those connections better, playing to their strengths like you were saying earlier.
I think one thing that we also need to consider is the fact that this team, the Long Donkeys team, have literally playing their first game of the day. So probably some cold feet, cold hands that just needed to warm up.
Definitely. And I mean, a lot of points have been played so far. Kyle Groenewald in. And, oh, not scored yet. On the line. Louis looking for the right pass there. Back to Kyle. Very competent. And finds Louis in the end zone. Seven or eight? 8. And that takes the score to 8-3 for the Donkeys, taking us to half time. That was Kyle Groenewald to Louis, giving us a little bit of a break here. And as we were saying before that point was being scored, we could have a situation where we do have a warmed up team. You know, it takes, if you warm up a little bit of diesel, allows the car to move a bit more proficient and efficiently. And honestly, I think Rex should be better equipped for the game now. I'm sure they've seen how the Donkeys are strategizing, how they play, how they move. And maybe they can get back into this. I mean, it is not over. You know, people must know that it is not over. Game of frisbee, it's like a game of dice. Your luck could turn at any moment.
No. That's where we're going to have to differ, my friend. I think there's too much chance in dice, and I think with ultimate frisbee, you have a lot more control of the outcome. You throw the disc away. Like, no one can take the disc from you, if you know what I'm saying. So there's less chance than a game of dice, but that doesn't mean there's no chance at all. There are some chances. Maybe there's a lapse in concentration, and that's your opportunity to strike. Maybe there's a D that didn't come out as hard as it was supposed to, and that's your chance to strike. So there is some time where you should be taking your chances, where luck does work for you, but more often than not, I think with professional sports, with sports in general, there's a lot of creating of your own luck.
And yeah, coming in with a lot more experience there. And I think you are right. You are definitely right. You do create your own luck. And hopefully the Rex team can gel together and create some luck for themselves right now as we move forward to the second half of this lovely game we have here at UKZN.
And if you don't want to be lucky, but you want to take your chances, take your chance to be part of the pack with the Wild Dogs 2025 campaign. Training camps happening in all 4 regions, the north, the west, the south, and the east. So make sure if you were born in or after 2002 that you sign up to be part of the pack.
Kyle signaling that he is ready to get us started here with the second half of the Long Donkeys 2 versus Rex 2, and that is Kyle setting us off. What is your opinion on catching the pull and leaving it? What would you think is the best way to go?
It depends on the situation. I think if you have a team that, like the Long Donkeys now, are coming at you fast and they're coming with you with a zone, you want to catch it so that you can get yourself onto the front foot as quickly as possible. Another thing about catching the pull is if you're catching it and it hasn't been in the air for too long, the other team is still taking their time to get to you, so you can get yourself some free yardage before the point starts. But it depends on the situation. If it's a very floaty pull and you're in the back of your end zone, maybe take your time. Make sure, because you don't want to just give it away right in front of your end zone.
Great advice there from the coach himself, the team man. Giving it back to Kyle, and there's that experience showing, and another point from the Donkeys. Kyle really doing his thing out there. That little bit of experience, like you were saying, showing, creating his own luck, creating his own chance, and literally just taking that split second to think about it and just make sure you're giving a more composed pass that is easily received by your cutter.
Also wanted to commend the cut for that throw, because you probably want to be throwing from power position, and what that means is as soon as you catch the disc, you have at least maybe 2 seconds to get the disc out. That's your power position, because your mark still isn't on you. They're still trying to set up, so that's probably the most open you'll be within the stall count. So if you time your cuts at the time of power position throw, then it's an easy point there, and that's exactly what happened. It was textbook ultimate, and cool, calm heads prevailed, with Kyle coming through with that fabulous bladey forehand.
Definitely composure is really deciding the outcome of the... Hoping to pull one back again. Cutting through that cup. Nice. Laying it up for the captain. Here we go. Again, much better decision making from the Rex team. Oh, and unlucky just at the end for Rex there. But looking so much better on offense, wouldn't you say?
Now, I definitely think what they got right at that point is that there was a gainer and as much precision, if you will. But it's Long Donkeys now. We have the points. Kyle in power position, decides against it. A great cut in the middle. Sets up power position for Matt. Oh, and a D by Henry just gives Rex another life in this point.
Good D there from Henry, just to deny the Long Donkeys that much needed point that they wanted. And again, taking their time. And that cup again, just really really deterring the Rex handlers from making those early shots, those power play shots you were talking about. Ooh, just before I could compliment them on their composure and dealing with the cup and zone that the Donkeys have been laying up this entire game. Again, that lapse of judgment. And there it is in the end zone. Kyle Groenewald doing his thing as usual.
Does make it look very, very easy. There was a little bit of action there from the captain, Lindell, who looked like she was in there with a chance to get a D. But the placement of the throw is what, if you're a young Ultimate player and you're just trying to figure out how to play Ultimate and where to throw, what made that throw so good was that he threw it into the space behind Lindell. So she literally couldn't do anything unless she ran back. But if she ran back, there was already the person was cutting into that space to pick it up. So throwing his receiver into space there was Kyle Groenewald. Some textbook Ultimate.
Honestly, a lovely weighted pass there from Kyle. As though the score were 0-0. And it's what we love to see.
I really don't mind the intensity. In fact, I really enjoy if it were. We spoke about how the disc moved up the line or up the field very well for Rex. It's when the handlers were the ones throwing the gainers. Receivers would catch it, then dump back to a hand.
Commentators curse. Maybe I should keep quiet. Every time I say something, that's when someone chooses just to make that wrong decision. Good comms there from the Donkeys team, allowing Rex to play that point. Honestly, Ultimate is a game of communication. Deep shot and just slips out of his fingers. It's a hard day at the office for Rex today.
Now, just an execution error. If I'm Rex too, I'm not too sad about that. Yes, in the moment, before you come to a tournament, like spend time catching the disc as much as you can, because it makes a difference.
We can really agree.
Did he do that with his bum?
Yes, with his bum.
I saw
With
that.
his bum. Body on the line. Think about it. There we go. And that is just out of the reach of the Rex players. Again, just giving your team, your kata, that time just to get into position. And I think it goes again, that flick when you're going with the wind. You just need to give it a little bit more weight so that it doesn't carry it over, because if you look carefully, the wind just carried it out of his reach.
Somehow it felt like a flustered throw. I'm not sure, because it was in flow. Once again, it looked like he was open. He was open. It was an execution error there. It wasn't a bad decision, as we see a timeout call here by Barry Stradom. Scores at 10. How much touch you should put on it. How long it should be floating in the air. And these are the nuances that more experienced throwers will sort of pick up on. They'll decide against that throw, wait for a better option, and then go there instead of trying to like force it in or jam it in the jam hole, as they say. And
honestly, those rushed decisions seldomly do work out. And honestly, I think I agree with your take there. Knowing your role, knowing your position, and doing exactly what you prepare. Just to give us a bit more competition here in this lovely game we're having today.
You know, to be fair, I'm a judge of the situation at times. And that's the
Both teams just taking this time out to plan their next move. Long donkeys in possession of the disc. Setting up their offense now. Hoping to pierce through the Rex defense. There we go. Sbu asking just for some extra field awareness from his captain. Going back to that good comms we were talking about. A game of communication. And Barry straight home with a hard. Looking better by Rex, keeping the donkeys right on the edge of their end zone. Here from Rex. Good defense, good pressure from Rex, forcing that error from the donkeys. There were no options available. And just again, that lapse in judgment. Some options, unfortunately. Take your time, look for the best pass, and it is found and gathered. Good play from Rex in that period, keeping the donkeys at bay right on the edge of their goal line, forcing that error and then capitalizing on the error. This is what we love to see.
Yeah, there was some very good defense from Rex, pulling out the zone here. They threw away the disc. So
and as the score stands, we are at 10 to the Long Donkeys 2 and 4 to Rex 2. Hopefully we can see more plays like the episode of play we just had now, with the Rex really keeping the donkeys at bay to get that point, to force those errors. Maybe Rex is just collecting themselves and to get us started for the next play. And there's the pull by Lindell, captain. Gathered by Kyle. Again, looking for his options. Gathered by Bishop. Bonga received. Finds his handler. And, just really moving out of the grip of the donkeys there to collect that point. And again, a lapse in judgment from Rex 2 to give away that point. Oh no, just a lack of communication from Louis and Kyle there to give the turnover to Rex. Donkeys just maintaining that cup and zone. Here we go with Rex. Big shot up. Can we get a layout? And that is a bit too much. Again, a little flustered flick, not allowing the cutter enough time to get into the end zone. And unfortunately, that is a turnover. Kyle looking for his options for the donkeys. That's a little bit of pressure there from Rex, just to force that error. And that is a foul called uncontested by the long donkeys. So it is taken as a catch. And Rex looking for that deep shot, and just lovely defense from Bonga there, just to deny Rex that point that they so much need and deserve so much. For the long donkeys. Bonga unmarked in the end zone. Beautiful assist from Kyle, who has been honestly showing us some very composed and lovely assists today. And as we're experiencing some technical difficulties here in the booth, the score is 11. And there we go, we're back on it. 11-4 to the long donkeys. And the handsome brother getting us back for our next point. And that's a big shot into the end zone, gathered in. That's a point by Rick, dragging this game back by its ankles. And honestly, they need to give it their all, kitchen sink included. They just got to throw it all in. Good decision making by the captain there, Lindell. Seeing her open player deep in the end zone. Honestly, acres of space between him and the would-be defenders of the Donkeys to earn Rex to their 5th goal of the game. Lovely days. Lofted giving his defenders enough time to get there, as they should. Donkeys really utilizing Kyle there to get into those little crevices of the Rex defense. Oh, good grab. Good grab by Skylar. A vault there. We've got a hammer in. Oh my goodness. Unlucky for Skylar there.
For a moment, it looked like it
really did. Looks like he just let it slip out of his hand on the landing there. Maybe there was just a lot of impact with the ground, just to destabilize him. And just maybe a lack of communication there between the Rex players there. Donkeys looking to capitalize. There we go, big shot into the end zone. Looks like he lost his footing there, NK. Just a little bit off balance, preventing him from
against the Donkeys. It doesn't look too slippery. There hasn't been that much rain of late. But yeah, still looks like it's tough to get your grip here.
A few sinkholes, so you might think you're stepping on solid ground and then just you know, that drop in the step. Just hold it, look, lapse in judgment. NK with a good save. See? Oh, lovely point. Lovely point by the Donkeys. Showing that composure we were talking about. Just taking a little second just to think about it. Because someone might be open, but the position you're in could just put you in an awkward position to make that pass that you know you can make, that you've been practicing. But then just taking that extra second, waiting for your attackers, your cutters, just to get into position might open up some new lanes for you. What do you think?
No, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. That's the composure that we keep talking about. The C word that has been on our lips today a lot, and even in this point, that seems to have been the difference between the two teams in this point. And what I will say about the turnover, at least, that came from Gregory to Ruben, it wasn't a bad decision, right? He tried to dump it back to his handler and then go after that. But just the way he could have set it up, because that situation, you just need a pop that your handler can run onto.
Rightly so. And we're here with the captain, Lindell, looking for some options here to try and get Rex back in the game. There she is, finding a lot of space. Two people playing downwind, but just not taking that option. Thinking about it, trying to make the best pass that she can probably make. And cup that's being set up here by the Donkeys is really working it out. NK, you can see he's very upset with himself. Should have been a goal.
Yeah, but we missed it. Battery.
And here we are with Rick. Deep shots. Looking for a hand. Gathered here. And again, just that, the C word we're talking about, the composure. Just making sure that you gather that disc. Thinking of one thing at a time. We might have a situation where players are just thinking about that continuation pass instead of gathering the disc. Brilliant point here, scored by Rix. Really trying to stay in this game and give us some good ultimate to work with.
Rex with the comeback, clawing their way back into being half of the score of their opponents now. Got their 6th point now. Donkey still with a comfortable lead. So maybe this timeout by the Rex team, just to build on the momentum that they're building now. That was a very well fought out point, if you will. There was an opportunity for the Donkeys to strike that they didn't take. But yeah, the Rexies did what they needed to do on the other side and got themselves over the line. So just trying to ride the wave, see if they can sneak into double digits before the game runs out, and then just take it from there. See what they can do after that.
I mean, it's doable. It's not impossible. We've seen some good plays from the Rex team. Remember their training. just go back to the drawing board and get the basics right. I think honestly, they could drag this game back, but they need to give it their all. They have to throw everything into it. If they hope to get into double digits and drag this game back.
One thing you need to also take into mind here, and that too is just for show, because this team is top notch, top quality. They get their youth working very, very hard. Get them making some big differences in the game. We've seen probably our MVP here, Skylar, in the end zone. He's been quite a force to be reckoned with, coming down with this that you wouldn't really expect. Even NK getting himself on the board as well. So Rex have a big mountain to climb against probably the best team, maybe not Donkeys too, but the Donkey setup, the best team in the country. It's very easy to argue that point.
And I mean, if they were getting battered every Sunday by the A team, I think that is some good practice for a tournament like this. And the Donkeys capitalizing on that brick. Again, trying to center their attack. Give their infield players a bit more space to work with and give some options to the handlers.
Just a heads up, this might be our last point of the day. We are unable to secure a power source, which is why we only have one camera running at the moment. And we are on our last few battery bars, if you will. So yes, we'll just enjoy this game as it goes on. Straight on brothers here, just passing it between themselves, keeping the stall reset until they find their open option, which they do. Matthew Bishop in power position.
Decides against it. Finds a more experienced handler. They're the Straight on brothers. Big shots in. And good defense from Rex. The captain, Lindell, showing her gratitude for that brilliant defense for Rex.
A big D there. The big hand of denial from Greg Barnard. Really making his presence known on the defensive end of the game. And Jabulo comes down with it. Sends it to Greg. Greg in power position. Now is the moment of truth. Makes the right decision. The disc stays alive. And Rex have another chance. And Jabulo keeping the disc alive here as Peter Jan now. Looking for the final option. Sends a blady forehand. But it's always very, very low. And unfortunately, Greg never stood a chance with that one.
Especially upwind, lad. Oh, it's literally that last second of the breakdown. You could see he was literally looking for that final pass just to make sure that it all connects together. And he just couldn't find it. And I'm sure the pressure from the stall count just made him release that disc very quickly and hastily.
Quick release there.
Quick release. Very risky, but into the very calm hands of Keegan. We have the Donkeys here, keeping it alive by the Strayed brothers. Looking for his options. Loving the brother-to-brother combination here that they keep going. Lovely just to get that disc out under that cup. Bishop again. Back to Stradom. Big hug up received by Louis. Continuation pass. And the big hand of denial comes again. But we have a foul call. Let us see the decision that is made there. Again, a game of communication. And it's a contested foul. So it goes back to the thrower to reset the point.
Watch your left shoulder, Ruben. Left shoulder, Ruben.
Stratum to stratum, like we've been seeing through this point. Brother to brother.
Nice, Ndulo.
Looking for some options. And lovely. Gathered there by Bishop. Kevin Stratum, younger brother to Bishop. Taking our score tally to 13-6 to the Long Donkeys 2.
The game will stay alive, folks. We don't know for how long. We got ourselves the power bank charged. Second camera also is about to be set up. So the game must go on here. We'll keep you in tune.
Good plays we're seeing here by Bishop. Good decision making, young as he is. Make sure that he's making the right decision before just letting a pass go through. And it was really nice to see him receive a point now, a goal for all his efforts throughout this game. To break up that zone that has been set up here, and just a bit too much. That continuation pass not connecting. Forcing Rex on the back foot. Donkeys looking to take it up now again. Kevin finding his cutters very excellently. And then, there we go, commentator's curse. Not the right decision to make. Defended easily by Rex. And now they look to capitalize on that error. They are playing downwind. Not finding that last pass into the end zone. Taking their time. Trying to find an open player there. Cutters cutting, try to throw off. And that pass just taken up by the wind. Easily intercepted by the Long Donkeys. And now they're looking to set up an attack of their own. Almost dropping that disc to Kevin. Kevin honestly finding his cuts as well. And we've got a deep shot for Louis, who will come back with it. And good defense.
Prolific on this side of the field is Greg Barnard. Loves gobbling down the high disc.
That big hand of denial as we speak about. And there's a deep shot. Oh, and denied. Denied by Bonga. And if you are having trouble figuring out NK and Bonga, they are actually twins. So we have some twins on the field. And they're both playing excellently today. Good on defense, good on offense. Donkeys looking to set up Louis with the cowboy hat. Honestly been roping up and gobbling up. Good cutting there to receive it again. Maybe it's the hat. Deep shots into the end zone for game point for the next point. Unless Rex has something to say about that.
It's a race against time here. The power bank has just wrapped up as well. It's time. It's chide. So, for the sake of the stream, we'd hope Donkey score now. But for the sake of vibes, hey, Rex 2, the comeback, hey?
Could still be done, especially we could have some lactic acid building up in the legs. Hopefully Rex, being the more fresher team, can take advantage of these last few seconds of this lovely game of Ultimate we've had today. Beautiful intensity, acres of experience between the two teams, and honestly that has been the decider in this game. And the donkeys to pull with what could be our last point of the stream and possibly the last point of the game. Again, that cup just putting pressure on those handlers, trying to deny them opportunities. But Rex here trying to do something here, breaking that cup, just resetting that stall, and just that wrong decision, just upsetting Rex there. And now the donkeys look to capitalize on that mistake, finding Kyle. Unlucky with what could have been the game point. Josh just probably getting too excited before he had made the grab.